Welcome back, everyone. Let's start with a quick summary
Okay.
of what we talked about in part 2 than part 1.
Okay. So in part 1, we mostly talked about, as you mentioned, jet lag and like the time difference, because there's a huge time difference between Japan and where I'm from in the USA. There's a 16-hour time difference.
Yes.
And we talked about the time zones a little bit. Like Japan has one time zone, Japan Standard Time. So anywhere you are in Japan, it's the same time.
Yes.
But in America, we have 6 time zones. And so the time depends on where you are in the country. Yeah. And then we also talked about driving and how I often mistook the winker and the windshield wiper because they're opposite on American cars. The sticks are opposite on American cars. And so for about a day and a half, every time I wanted to turn the winker on, I'd put on the windshield wiper. Yeah, it was kind of embarrassing. And my son was laughing. He was like, oh, okay, it's okay. But secretly he was laughing, I know. Hi, everyone. This is Crosstalk FM. This is an English and Japanese bilingual freestyle podcast. In this podcast, we talk about some cross-cultural themes and trends that we find interesting. My name is Andrea.
Hi, I'm Tomoya.
Okay, and we are talking about cross-cultural things today.
Okay, yes. And we are going to talk about food.
Yes, one of my favorite things.
For our listeners who might not be familiar with Kansas barbecue, could you explain what makes it so special for you?
Okay. So like in Japan, we have barbecue, which is yakiniku.
Yes.
And it's usually individual bite-sized pieces. So you cook a little tiny piece of meat and you eat it right from the grill, directly from the grill.
Yes.
However, American barbecue is different, and Kansas City barbecue is kind of special in the way that they cook the meat. So they don't cook just like individual pieces. They'll cook a whole slab of meat, usually ribs or rump or something, a steak. And with Kansas City barbecue, it's always rubbed with a spice rub. So like a mixture of different spices that are kind of spicy. They'll massage that onto the meat and they'll let it set, kind of like a marinade. And then they'll take that meat and they'll smoke it. They'll put it in a big smoker and they smoke it. So the meat gets a little bit dried out. It's not juicy. Mm-hmm. It gets a little dry.
Okay.
And then they'll take the meat that's been smoked and they'll put a lot of sweet and spicy sauce on it. Each city has their own sauce, and Kansas City sauce is made from molasses, which is like a dark, heavy black sugar. It's very, very sweet. It's called molasses. Tomatoes, like ketchup, and lots of spices like pepper and chili, and other things like garlic and things like that. Chili, secret spices, and each shop or each barbecue master has their own special sauce. But like Kansas City is all the molasses based. It's all like very sweet and spicy. So then they'll cook that on a grill. So you get the smoky flavor, you get the spice, you get the sweet and the salty all together. It's really, really delicious.
Okay, thank you for your explanation. That's really tasty. I wanna taste it.
Yeah, my mouth is watering just remembering it. I'm getting hungry.
It must be really good.
It's excellent. It's literally been my favorite food my whole life. I grew up eating this barbecue, and it's always been my favorite food since I was a small child.
Yes, she told me about this every single time. I mean, when she has a chance to talk
when you
about
ask me.
Yes.
When someone asks me, yeah.
So I want. So what was like to eat Kansas barbecue again after such a long time?
It was excellent. It was really excellent. But I was sad because it's not cheap. It's kind of expensive because they take such a long time to cook the meat. And, it's a big dinner. Like I got it's called a short end or a burnt end dinner. It's just the burnt end of a steak. It's not really burned, but they chop it up into cubes and they put that on top of 2 or 3 big slices of toast, like buttered toast. And then you get side dishes too. I chose baked beans, which is beans that have been cooked with bits of the meat, like the leftover meat and all the sauce in there. And then fried potatoes. But you can also choose salad and other things.
Okay. So,
but it's a big dinner. It's a huge dinner. And it's a lot for one person.
Did you finish your meal?
No, I could not. I took most of it. I ate most of it and I took part of it home. And then I had the rest later in the evening. Like, I was like, I wasn't hungry. I was not hungry, but I like, before I go to bed, I just want to eat that one more time. So I had it for a night snack.
Really?
Late night snack, yeah.
But it sounds like a little expensive. How much is the average price for a meal? Like
that was, I mean, considering how much food you get and how like long it takes to cook the meat, it's not too bad. I think that was about $22 a plate. Which was, what would that be in yen now? Like sanzen yen?
Sanzen,
for dinner, that's not too bad.
Yeah. That's not crazy expensive.
No. And then, you have to add on a 15% tip on top of that.
15%. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it gets a little expensive. But if I had a chance, I would have gone back and had like a sandwich or like a different menu item one more time. But we only had a chance to eat barbecue one time.
Only one time?
Only one time, yeah.
Was that your favorite Kansas barbecue restaurant?
It was, but it was not my favorite menu. My favorite menu is the short end, which is basically rib meat.
Okay.
It's pork ribs. And it's the short ones, not the big long ones. So the short ones have a little more meat. They're very meaty. That's my favorite menu. But I didn't get that because I'm stupid.
So you could have chosen your favorite part. But
well, because I never had the one that I got. And I thought, okay, I'll try something new. I get the same thing every time. I'll try something new this time. And it was good. It was very good. But it was not my favorite menu.
Okay. But it was like a once 10 years opportunity. Why didn't you go for your go to Kansas barbecue?
Well, like I said, I just was in a moment. Like okay, I'll try something new. And
okay. It
was on the special menu, so okay, we'll try whatever. Like whatever's on the special menu, it's got to be good, right?
I thought, okay.
It was good though. I'm not complaining. It was very good.
Okay. Good. So speaking of favorite foods, I'm a big fan of ramen.
Yes, I know you are.
And I can't imagine being away from authentic Japanese ramen for years, but you were in a kind of this position in Japan.
Yeah, because the barbecue is not something that you can really make at home because you have to have that big smoker and it takes a really long time. It's not something it's not like anything we ever make at home.
Is it impossible to make our kinds of style barbecue here in Japan?
It's not impossible, but it would be difficult. But it's not impossible. It's just very time consuming.
Okay.
And like I work constantly. I don't have like all day to stand around and watch meat cook.
Okay. So that is not the problem with meat. The meat is same kind.
Well, you can buy the rib meat. You can buy the meat here. Yeah, you can get meat. It's expensive, but you can get it. It's not cheap in America either.
Okay.
The thing is, like the sauce, you can't really buy the sauce easily in Japan.
But maybe we could order one from internet.
Yeah, like I've ordered some sauces from Amazon and it's not the same. It's not that good. I mean, it's okay, but it's not like the flavor that's from my city. It's not like our Kansas City flavor. It's like general barbecue stuff, which is like, it's okay. It's okay. Not so great.
You guys know now, Andrea-san is very particular with barbecue sauce.
Yes. So I have friends from other parts of America, like Texas has barbecue and North Carolina has a barbecue and, other states have their own style of barbecue. North Carolina barbecue, just to give you an example of how it's different, their barbecue sauce is made with with vinegar and peach juice. So it's a little more watery and it's got a little sourness to it. It's not sweet. And like ours is sweet and sticky and very spicy. Theirs is thin and a little bit bitter and, like vinegary.
Vinegary.
Yeah. It has like a little bit of a sour undertone.
Okay.
It's okay. It's not bad, but it's not nearly as good as Kansas City barbecue. Sorry, but not sorry.
So Kansas City barbecue, but Kansas style barbecue is the best in the world.
It's the best, yeah, in my opinion.
Okay.
In my opinion. It really is good.
Can we get a Kansas style barbecue sauce from Caldi?
No.
No.
No, you can't find it in Japan.
Oh, no.
No. The only place you can get it, which I can't get it, is if you have a friend who is on the American military base here. The military bases sometimes get the good Kansas City barbecue sauce.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you have to have a friend on the base who can go shopping inside the base store and send it to you. And I don't have any military friends, so I can't get it.
If someone of the listener
send me some barbecue sauce.
Send her barbecue sauce if you are working for the military.
I'll pay you somehow. Yeah.
Okay, one more topic we're going to talk about in this episode is touchless culture.
Yes.
Touchless. I've heard a lot about touch payment system becoming more common in the US.
Yes.
And you talked to me about this touchless culture before we start this episode.
Yes.
But did you get to try them out during your trip?
Yes. So I didn't realize how touchless everything in America has become until we went on this trip. Japan is okay. Japan is not horribly behind, but with the coronavirus pandemic, things in America were very, very bad. Yes. And no one wanted to touch anything because no one wanted to get germs and get sick. So everything became touchless in America, apparently. So when we were there, just to give an example, like I went to the toilet in the airport and in the shopping centers and stuff. After you use the toilet, you have to wash your hands.
Yes.
And so the soap and water is touchless, which is not so weird because we do have that in Japan. Like some places have the sensor. You put your hand under the faucet and the water comes out or the soap comes out. That's okay. They also had touchless paper in America. So you put your hand near the paper machine and paper comes out.
Touchless paper.
Touchless paper dispensers, which is nice. Very nice. And like touchless, like I mentioned in episode 1, the water. You can get free water, but there's a sensor on the machine. You don't have to touch the machine. You just put your hand in front of the sensor and you put your pet bottle or whatever under the spout. You don't have to touch anything and water comes out. You get free water touchless. But also like payments, you mentioned the touchless payment system. So in America, they call it tap and pay.
Tap and pay.
Like in Japan with a credit card, you have to put your credit card in the machine and you have to put your number in. You have to touch the machine to put your number in, right? Not in America. You take your card and you tap it on the machine and that's all. You don't have to touch the machine. You don't have to put your card in the machine. You don't have to push any buttons. So it's very clean, very safe, very sanitary. It's very good.
Nice. Yeah.
And no one's using money. Like money also with, coronavirus, it has germs. Yes. And if I give you my coins, then the virus goes to you.
Yes.
So no one uses cash anymore. Everything is tap and pay.
Yeah. Wow, that's very clean.
It's very clean, very fast, very efficient, and very convenient.
Yes. And so I wonder, we have a PayPay. It's very popular payment system in Japan.
Yes.
But do American people has kind of similar service?
Yes, there's a couple of apps that you can use. It's not PayPay, but it's like PayPay.
It's like a reading QR code and pay.
Yes, exactly. So they do have that too. If you don't want to use your credit card, you can just have the clerk scan your phone or whatever, or you scan it yourself. Even like airport check-in, you like once I bought our tickets, I get a QR code. I didn't get any paper, of course. So the QR code is on my phone, and you just scan that to check in to the airplane. And then, of course, you have to give your passport to the agent at the desk. But going onto the plane, you just scan and go on. The boarding pass is all in your phone.
Wow, that's very convenient.
Yeah, and it was the same. Like we went to a basketball game. The basketball tickets were also a QR code on my phone. So we just scanned and went in. It was really fast, very convenient.
I think some of my credit card has been renewed, and it has a function with like a touch and tap and pay like a system in it. So we are getting there.
Yeah, I think like in the Japan, like it's not the credit card that is the problem. It's the readers in the stores.
Oh, that's true. That's some store, yes.
Not many though. Like most stores in Japan, you have to put your number in. You have to touch the machine and put your number in. They want to do the fake security code thing.
How about checkouts? Like a self-checkouts at the supermarket?
Yes, actually. I didn't really go to the supermarket, but a lot of places do have self-checkouts. The one thing that surprised me actually is we went to McDonald's while we were there, which I don't really care about McDonald's, but the younger kids in the family wanted to go. So we went to McDonald's. You order your own stuff by yourself on the touch screen. A lot of restaurants have this now where there's no clerk there. There's no sales clerk at the counter or register. There's no register. You put in the screen what you want to order and you pay, you tap and pay. And then someone in the back makes it and brings it to you. But like you don't have to talk to anyone.
There's no phone clock?
No, there's no clerk. You look at the picture and I want this, I want this, I want this, and you order and you tap and pay.
Wow.
So it took a few minutes for me to learn how to use the McDonald's order system, but it was very interesting.
That's so advanced.
Yeah, it was advanced. Yeah.
Yeah, we still have many shops stuffs at the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's changing now.
Yeah. But I think it's because like in America, because of the coronavirus pandemic, a lot of people stopped working. There's not enough staff for all the stores. And so that's one way around having no staff in the stores is to let people order their own thing on the panel. And then, there's one or two staff in the back actually making the food. It's not, you don't have to have a lot of people in the restaurant working. You have one or two staff only, not six.
There's one karaage shop near our office.
Yeah.
And that karaage place have been closed for many, many days, many weeks.
Yeah, I noticed. I was going to tell you that today. There's still no one there even this week.
Really? It's been more than a month now, I think. But they said there's a sign says some of our staff member have had a flu. And since then we can open the shop. But it's been more than months.
More than a month, yeah. It's been a long time.
Yes. Yeah. I guess there's a different reason, like
no staff.
No staff.
There's no staff, actually.
There's no staff. Yeah, maybe.
That's what I thought too.
maybe they need a machine or a robot or some kind of IT.
Yeah. Some kind of IT system. So I noticed, I don't know, like Japan hasn't really, with the exception of stores like Uniqlo and GU, and then a few grocery stores that have the self-checkout, which are very slow machines, by the way, Japan hasn't really started using like self-automated checkout very much, or self-automated ordering systems compared to America. Like even my son said, like, wow, America ga sugoi susunderu ne. It's really, really far ahead of Japan right now.
Yeah.
It's shockingly far ahead, and Japan is shockingly far behind. But I think in the case of Japan is trying to protect the jobs for actual people. They're trying to keep jobs for people.
That's I don't know what to say, but this is kind of sad
Yeah.
because we are far behind from most advanced country.
Well, and also I think one more reason I think is that a lot of shops in Japan don't want to use money to set up a new system or to add in new equipment. But with America, it's not a temporary thing. They're going to be using these touchless systems for a long time, and so the shops and the facilities have like, yeah, okay, let's just do it. It's not going to end in 1 year or 2 years. We're going to use this forever. Whereas Japanese shops are like, and this is a temporary thing. This is a ichijitekina.
And I think the government didn't really give us subsidy money
Right.
for installing these advanced IT technology.
Right.
Because the rule was something like you have to make some money from using our subsidy money.
Okay. That's kind of a weird rule, though, if you think about it.
It's understandable, but the rule is kind of strict for some shops.
Yeah.
Like small business owner, how can you make money using subsidy? I mean, basically you have to make some money from using subsidy money, but
right. The hurdle's very high.
Yes. And at the time, you couldn't have a time to think about strategy.
Sure.
Yeah, for the future. So yes.
I don't know about the subsidy money situation in America. I have no information about how that worked, but just looking at shopping centers, like big facilities, and big companies like airports and probably schools and hospitals too. The everything is very technologically advanced. It's very, very forward.
Yeah.
I think also with Japan, I noticed when the pandemic was here, the Japanese government invested a lot of time and effort into trying to get older people, the elderly population, teach them how to use PayPay or some kind of online payment system, teach them how to use Apple Pay. But really, is that the government's job? I mean, should we be paying subsidy money for that? I mean, I don't know. I just think it's kind of a wasted effort.
I don't know. The government policy for IT is we want anyone left behind.
Yeah, but then now that the pandemic's over, all most elderly people went back to using cash. Really?
Yeah, we are preserving our nice authentic culture.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're gonna use cash, use cash. If you're gonna use IT, use IT. You do one or the other. But right now where we are in Japan, it's a very chuta hampa. It's a very mixed half and half situation, and it's really difficult to manage your own personal money because half of it's online and in e-payments and half of it's in cash.
Okay, things are getting a little complicated for this episode.
We're getting deep. We're getting too deep.
But it's interesting. America is moving forward to automations in many ways. So I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
And someday I want to travel to the US.
Yeah, we should go. Definitely. I think you would be surprised. And because you're an IT person, you would probably enjoy seeing how it is.
IT person.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap up this series by summarizing Andrea-san's experiences.
Okay. Well, we talked about the characteristics of the barbecue in my hometown and what makes it so different and so good compared to other cities' barbecue. And yes, I am biased. We have the best. And then we talked about touchless culture and especially touchless payment systems. And how advanced they are now because of the coronavirus pandemic.
Okay, I want to ask you, Andrea-san, one last question.
Sure.
Since you back to Japan, did you have any reverse culture shock?
No, not really. Like, I'm pretty attuned to living in Japan. I do love living here. I think it's a fabulous country. I don't have any regrets about living here. It was not difficult to come back. And my son had not reverse culture shock, but he was very happy to get back to having rice and seafood for dinner sometimes.
Yeah.
He missed having rice.
Yes, of course. Probably I would do the same as your son.
Rice.
Rice onigiri. Alright, listeners, that's all for this episode. We hope you enjoy about hearing Andrea-san's travel to the US. And if you have gone back to your hometown after being away for a while, please let us know what your experience and share your stories.
Yeah. That would be nice to hear other people's stories too.
Yes. Okay, that's it for today's episode, but don't forget to catch next one.
All right, this is Crosstalk signing off, bringing you English your way every week.
Keep listening and keep shining.
Bye.
Bye.